Well, a group of actors has teamed up to beg Republican electors to block Donald Trump from becoming president during this coming Monday's Electoral College vote. About to talk to one of them. Of course, there was a video summing up their views. Here it is.
What is evident is that Donald Trump lacks more than the qualifications to be president.
He lacks the necessary stability.
And clearly the respect for the Constitution of our great nation.
You have position,
the authority,
and the opportunity to go down in the books as an American hero
who changed the course of history.
And you have my respect.
Joining us now, one of the actors in that video, Mike Farrell, former star of m.a.s.h and a bunch of other popular TV shows. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
So, as I understand, if my math is right, you're asking that 37 Republican electors change their vote and vote against Trump, and that would override the votes of over 62 million people. So you're saying the votes of 37 people are more important than the votes of 62 million people. That does not sound like democracy to me.
Well, does the Electoral College sound like democracy to you when the popular vote is the so-called winner is now 2.5 million votes below his opponent?
No, that's a completely fair point. No, I agree with you. No, but I agree with you on that. It's not a perfectly democratic system, but what you're proposing makes it far less democratic, doesn't it?
I'm not so sure it does. No, I don't think it does at all. All we're doing is suggesting to those people who are electors, appointed electors, Republican electors, that they should have the right, if they have a view that is contrary to the decision that has been made by the electorate, that they do what is available to them, which is to simply vote their conscience. John Kasich, for example, Governor Kasich, for example, would be the choice, it seems to me, of a great many of them had they been able to make that choice. And because there are concerns, I think, across the board, in whether Democrat or Republican, there are concerns about the advisability of having a President Trump, and those concerns grow by the day as we see the appointments he's making, as we see the fact that he doesn't yet release the tax statements or tax records that he claimed he would. I mean, there are just any number of things that are happening that are raising people's questions, and it seems to me that the Electoral College has an opportunity, sort of a court of last resort, to say this may not be the right choice and leave it up to the House of Representatives.
Right. I mean, I understand what you're saying. The problem is, and perhaps Governor Kasich would be a better president, I don't know, but nobody voted for Governor Kasich. And even though it's not, as you noted, a perfect democracy, but in the general election, he received basically no votes. I mean, maybe some people wrote him in, but he wasn't on the ballot. And so would you really want a president nobody voted for? I mean, that's not legitimate presidency, is it?
Well, legitimate's an interesting word in these days, but I would prefer, personally, yes, to have a president that the House of Representatives voted for, or the Electoral College voted for, that was an experienced person with integrity, with an understanding of public service, with a proven ability to guide not only a country but a state or some political organization. Mr. Trump has none of those things. Mr. Trump is a businessman, as we all know, and a celebrity, and I don't think those are qualifying. Personally, I don't find those to be particularly qualifying.
Right, you don't like Trump, I get it. That's legitimate, but liberals used to
I've never met him. I don't dislike him. I find him scary.
You don't want to be president. I understand that. Lots of people share your view. But liberals used to believe in democracy and that legitimacy was conferred by the people who live in the country. Only they can choose their leaders. That's what we used to tell our children. Maybe one of the reasons Hillary lost in the first place is that rich people, including you, no longer believe that. They think that we should pick someone I like, and it doesn't matter how we pick him, we're just going to pick him and he'll be great. I mean, that is the message that you were sending, isn't it?
No, let me demur about the rich people. I am not one of them. Rich people made a decision, and that decision was to put a man who described himself as the richest billionaire in the country into office, and they used all kinds of weapons that are available to them to convince people that he was the guy.
No, Hillary was the choice of people making upper income, and he received almost no support from the tech community, from the finance community. I mean,
the tech community, right?
No, but I mean, she spent twice as much as he spent.
That's not the
she had
point.
the support of rich people. Okay, well, it's
absolutely.
Kind of
She spent a great deal more than he did, no question about it. And she was not my candidate, frankly, but that's not my point. My point is we the people, through the process that is currently in place, have made the president-elect a man who has no qualifications for the office, has demonstrated that he has no qualifications for the office, and has demonstrated his own inability to be a leader in any number of ways that are, I think, very disturbing. But not only disturbing to me, disturbing to many people in this country, and disturbing to a lot of people around the world.
Well, sometimes voters do things you don't like, but you have to live with it. That's kind of the point.
That's
now, in the video, it says this. This is to the electors that the video is aimed at. It says, the American people trust that your voice speaks for us all. These electors, the 538 or the 30 or the 37 that you want to change their votes. Who are these people? Do you know anything about the electors whom you believe should make this most important decision in the world? Do you know anything about them personally, about their wisdom, their backgrounds, their names even?
I only know the ones who have said that they won't vote for President Trump and why they won't vote for President Trump. I know none of them personally. I understand that they've taken a job, and I assume there's an oath associated with the job they've taken, and bless them for it. And they are committed Republicans, and bless them for that. And I think that the issue that is before them was, I think the point of the creation of the Electoral College was to avoid having an unqualified person serve in the office, to be careful, to see to it that the appropriate person is the one that ultimately reaches that chair.
But why do you assume that this tiny group of people is better qualified to make this decision than 62 million voters? Why do you believe that if you don't even know their names, why do you think they're wiser or imbued with a keener moral sense to make this decision that will affect all of us? I'm confused.
A larger number of voters said that the other candidate was the better one. I'm not arguing that we should take that other candidate. I'm saying that there was a very serious debate in the country, and the one who lost the debate in terms of the numbers is the one who has now been selected. And that person, I believe, is not qualified, and he's demonstrated that he's not qualified, and he's not been honest. He's not been straightforward. He's not been appropriately revealing about himself, his intentions, his standing, his I could go on if you'd like, but
no. I get the point. You don't want him to be president. I mean, but I think the process matters here, I guess, is the point. And if we were to, being whoever makes these decisions, were to snatch the presidency from Donald Trump, I think you would have a great deal of social instability. Has that occurred? Like, what would the 62 million people who voted for him think?
Okay. I think they'd be unhappy, certainly.
Yeah.
No, of course they would be. Yeah, but that's not the point. The 68 million or however many that voted for Hillary Clinton are unhappy too. But I think everybody will be happier ultimately when a qualified person sits in the office. I think when we have somebody doing the kind of work that he claimed outside that he was going to do, and now demonstrates that he's going to do some very different things, I think that's a source of concern for many people, even the ones who voted for him.
Mike Farrell joining us. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.